I want to get a quick answer on the next couple questions, see if we can't get a few more in here. A recent MSU poll found 37% of residents seldom or never believe what their elected leaders say. So basically, a third of the people out here don't trust you. Give me one thing, one specific thing you're going to do in your first term if you're elected to make people believe you're a man of your word, Mr. Carlson.
I'll bet you that MSU is pretty accurate. That MSU poll is pretty accurate because I'm a graduate there and I have a lot of friends back there. But the one thing that you can depend on that Marvin Carlson will do is because he's a person of the people, not simply moved into the district, and he actually has built his business and built value into his community, that he will speak for the people of the district, because I do not have any payoffs to make.
One thing, Mr. Rooney, one thing.
You judge somebody and their character by the fruits of their past, and that's the best thing that the people can go off when they're judging somebody. And you look to the past and what they did in their life. And I was a Marine Corps officer. I was in Iraq. I was at a constitutional law firm. I spent a lot of time at Mott Children's Hospital with my son. And, you know, those are the life experiences that people judge, you know, your character by. And if you're going to be a man of your word when you get down to D.C., I can pledge to you that I'm not going to be moving to D.C. I'm going to stay here in the district. I'm going to remain here in the district and go back and forth so that I can keep my ear to the ground, so that you don't become a Mark Schauer where he just completely disregards what the people of this district want.
One thing, Mr. Walberg, what's one thing you'll do?
Do the same thing I've done before. I'm the only proven principled conservative in this race. And people have learned to trust that when Tim Walberg says he will do something or won't do something, that's where he'll stand.
What's one thing that, have either of these two gentlemen lied in this campaign? Have any of your opponents, Mr. Walberg?
No, I wouldn't call it a lie. And, of course, Joe Wilson is a friend of mine. But I'm not saying it's a lie. I think there's some misunderstandings that go on, but that's part of the campaign. Mm-hmm. And bottom line, the experience that you develop in being in a political environment and understanding the district back home, living in your office, remembering that your home is back in the 7th District, not Washington, it goes a long way, and I think that's some of the understandings.
Has anybody lied in this campaign, Mr. Rooney, that you remember?
I wouldn't say lie. There's been a lot of ignorance and, you know, mailers put out that are, you know, just not based upon the fact. Well, one of my opponents, Marvin, put out a piece saying that I was a native of Florida. I was born and bred in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And, you know, trying to do innuendo about, you know, your family. I come from a large Irish Catholic family, so not everybody agrees 100% with me or my values, but, you know, when you live in a big family, whether you have a lot of different uncles or aunts or cousins or whatnot, you're going to get differences of opinion.
Is that true? Did you say he was from Florida?
Yeah, he went to high school in Florida, but it's a very small issue. What the bigger issue is in that mailer is I asked for transparency. I asked Brian to provide us with his income tax records. All of the other candidates, including the governor's candidates, have done that. Brian has simply refused to do it.
Why haven't you done that?
I've complied with all the rules and regulations that it takes to run for Congress. My income as an attorney at the Thomas More Law Center is a matter of public record. You can go online and see what I've made for the last 3 years by looking at my 994.
Would it be easy to just release it if everybody else is doing it?
Marvin Carlson does not run my campaign. I run my own campaign, and I do what I have to in order to get my word out to the people of this district so that they can vote for me.
It has nothing to do with Marvin Carlson running his campaign. It's being transparent and making a full disclosure of where my money comes from. Brian has spent $300,000 of his own money plus several $100,000 of family money on this campaign. He doesn't have a job currently. Where does the money come from?
I have one quick... It's probably the worst time to ask a quick question, but when you guys say you'll overturn health care, or what you call Obamacare, isn't that a little presumptuous, considering that anything that gets going that actually makes it to the president's desk he would repeal if you get in there? Is there a way you can overturn that? Let's start with Mr. Rooney. And we have to be quick here. Get about 30 seconds.
I'm not naive to believe you can overturn it until we have a new president in 2012, which I believe we will have. In the meantime, until you get to 2012, you fix what you can get fixed, because we should have a Republican Senate and Congress. And then after 2012, we work to repeal and replace it with the new president, and we can do that because the bill doesn't get fully implemented in 2014 anyway.